And see, that's the problem. We have normalized dysfunction in our lives from our childhood to the things we've seen in this life. There's so many problems in our lives now because we have normalized dysfunction. And it got to the point where now people have become comfortable being dysfunctional. That's the problem. People have become way too comfortable being dysfunctional to where that seems to be the norm. That's why nobody wants to change, or nobody damn near can change, because your subconscious mind has been so deeply rooted in dysfunction for so long to where now when your conscious mind tries to jump out of it, you don't last very long in that change because it hasn't sunk in yet. It hasn't sunk into your subconscious mind, which seems, when I think about that, I think about the parable of the sower that sowed seeds, the farmer that sowed seeds, and it talks about how some seeds fell among thorns, some seeds fell among stony ground. And I keep thinking about the stony ground because it talked about how, the scripture or the word talked about how, the Bible talked about how these seeds fell among stony ground and they sprung up. But then because there was no root, the seeds couldn't take root. The sun came, the heat came, the adversity came, and those seeds, the little that did spring out of those seeds withered away because those seeds weren't rooted. They weren't in the ground and they couldn't take deep root. So that when those things would come, when the adversity would come, when the heat would come, when the sun would come, it wouldn't be, the root wouldn't die out and be burned up and wither away because, it'd be planted in solid ground. And I look at that and I think about the subconscious mind. Change doesn't happen in our lives because the change does not get to our subconscious mind. It doesn't take hold and take root in our subconscious mind. And that's why when adversity comes, it's just, we revert right back to what we did before. We go back to the substance abuse. We go back to the anger. We go back to the arguments and the fighting and the tripping. We go back to all those wild things when we get stressed out. And when we just, I'm so stressed. I've had such a bad day, or so-and-so did this or did that. I just got to have a drink, or I got to have a cigarette, or I got to have some weed, or I got to have this. I got to go have sex, or I got to go do this. I got to go do that. And it's like, how? It's like, how do you revert back to that so quickly when you say that you wanted to change? Because your change, your reason for change, has not sunk into your subconscious mind. You haven't practiced it enough to where it became second nature. Because when something becomes second nature, it becomes rooted in you. When your desire becomes so great to where your desire becomes rooted in you, then the change will happen. Because the change will be who you are now. You will become the change. And the change will become you. It will be who you are at this point. Because now it's become deeply rooted within you. In your mind and in your heart. The roots, the seed has sunken and into fertile ground, good ground, and it has taken root to the point to where now that plant can grow strong now because it's got deep roots. But yeah, I think that's been a major problem in this world, in this society. We become so like dysfunction has become so normal in our lives to where now when things are normal and things are functional, now those things are weird to us now. Now we're uncomfortable being functional. We're uncomfortable being functional. We're uncomfortable being right, being clean, being pure, being wholesome, being righteous. Being free from substance abuse and addictions. We're uncomfortable with being right and being true and being clean. Someone used the word holy or consecrated. We're uncomfortable being that now. But see, the word can change us. It can multiply our change because it brings, see, the words that are spoken in the word in the Bible, it's more than just words. It's spirit, it's life, it's truth. It can come in and bring change, but that has to take root. Those words, that spirit, that life, it has to come in and take root in your subconscious mind, in your heart. It's got to become what you are. It's got to become what you think about. And then when you do that, it will become harder and harder to separate from that. It will become harder to go back to what you used to do. It won't even be normal to you anymore. The things that were once normal, the dysfunction that was normal to you, now it will really start to look dysfunctional. It will really start to look abnormal. And you're like, man, why was I doing all those things? But the truth of the matter is, you were doing all those things because you became comfortable being dysfunctional. And you've normalized dysfunction your whole life. It became normal to you. But now we got to reverse that. We got to reverse that now. And we can. We can with the help of the Most High, with the help of His Word, His Spirit, His life, the essence of who we are and our connection with the Creator. Because yes, we are gods. It says so in our law. Even the one that you claim you believe in, the Messiah, He said, have I not said in your law that you are gods? And I see that, I understand that, because I understand that the word, the scriptures, it was trying to do something to us in our carnal nature, in our natural state, our natural nature. It was trying to bring out the God in you. So that you no longer have to live like a beast, which is even lower than a man, or even so much a man. But you can live like a God. But you have to choose. You have to choose. Who do you desire to live like? How do you desire to live? Do you desire to live like a God? Do you desire to live like a normal, carnal man? Or do you choose to live like a full-fledged beast, which is the lowest. And even the scripture says, like natural brute beasts made for the slaughter. Beasts get slaughtered. Men have trouble, but gods, they rule and reign and conquer. Get your life right. Live like a god and quit living like a beast.